It automatically put your first option into December. So you do have to wait. So it must be 6 months.
Okay.
It must be 6. So I'll just find one that's closer, because I was just trying to find an open appointment, you know, like the soonest I could get in. Okay.
You
So
can't get much closer than that then.
Well, there are
You
ones
can't.
that are closer. I mean, this is
You
6
mean in
months.
time or space?
No, space. Like
Okay.
your first option, they won't, because you have to plug in your last dose. And it's pulling up
So
December.
you are prepared to be
So I can
on
get
it.
it. Yeah. Ella and I are able to get it, so you gotta wait about 3 weeks yet.
the step Danny.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay. This is life as we know it. You see, this is life. This is decision making based upon the options we have available. Sometimes the decisions just aren't ready for us yet. Take them as they come. Dick Cavett keeps coming up on my stuff now because I watched one thing by him. And I remember Dick Cavett as I was growing up being like a fuddy-duddy. Like one of these old, just boring interview shows with somebody that I thought was just a fuddy-duddy. And as I see things now, becoming a fuddy-duddy myself, he's not a fuddy-duddy at all. He was on the cusp of things. It takes a certain amount of growth and existence in this plane, I suppose, to be able to appreciate what he has to offer. You need enough background information to understand that he really is getting to things. Well, somebody just commented on one of my videos. It's one of those barely legal things, or how do you get a cheap whore transported into your world from a nation full of people that just want out. Pretty soon the U.S. is going to be trying to send brides over to the Ukraine. The way things are going, everything changes. It popped up on my thing. I'm pretty sure these people aren't even watching videos. I don't know how they can comment without giving me a view. I just don't understand that. And the step Danny says, you know, you can block that sort of thing. I'm like, they're the only comments I get. Ooh, makes me look good. Part of the system. So there's a Dick Cavett video interviewing George Harrison from the Beatles after the Beatles split. And George is sitting there and he's like, yeah. And Richard Cavett, back when it was okay to be a dick on TV without having to destroy everything, you're just a dick. He's very good at this stuff. And Dick Cavett says to George about things, and George says, I don't really like to talk. And it was weird the way that it went. It instigated Dick Cavett to say, yes, I don't like to talk either. He's talking about how even though he didn't say this, but this is what we're getting. I'm saying, even though he's a talk show host who speaks for his job is to speak with people. He shares the idea that, yeah, I could go months on end without talking to anybody. Leave the room every once in a while when I need to, but wow. So there, Dick Cavett, an eminent talk show host, I will give him that. I have come around to understand he was eminent at the time. Look at the people he had on. He had Forrest Gump on his show with John Lennon, them sitting there. And Forrest gave John Lennon an idea. A country without religion, a country without war, all that stuff. And John wrote this song. John was a prick, and then Forrest says, I don't know, sometime after that, some man killed him. But that was the one place in the whole Forrest Gump movie that I saw Forrest Gump was happy to see somebody die. He did not like John Lennon. John Lennon was a prick to Forrest. I don't care what you say. That's the way I saw it. He was being a snide prick. I'm better than you. And instead, Forrest gave him a hit song and was glad to see him die. I'm not saying Tom Hanks was glad to see John Lennon die, but I'm pretty sure Forrest was glad to see John Lennon die. But that's not what it's all about, what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about now is this is the stuff that reminds me. Does anybody remember? There was a dude that broke into an old George Harris's domicile while he was sleeping in the night and came in and stabbed him. And the fucking wife gets up and goes, ah, and beats him down with a lamp and subdues him till the police can come up and take him away. And I think, oh, wow, that guy's in prison. Too weak to beat George Harrison's wife in a fight. Probably getting raped constantly, going, oh, I don't know how they do it in England, but probably getting raped constantly and beaten, and people fucking don't like him because they like the Beatles. And then the mechanism begins to turn in this guy's mind. And he's like, shortly after, George Harrison dies of cancer. And this guy's sitting there going, He's not behind, he's in front. He's going, And he goes, I don't like this one bit. Well, all he's getting is the satisfaction of the prostate, I suppose. He could have gotten that from a prostate check in the hospital, out free to walk home and not have to tell anybody about how much he enjoyed it. Instead, he's laying there going, if only I had waited a little bit longer. If only I had waited a little bit longer. Because George Harrison died of cancer shortly after that. If only he would have waited a little bit longer, he would have gotten his desire to see George Harrison die. And he'd have been free to go to the pub. Maybe be the guy behind it going, but it's about patience. It's about patience. Maybe he wanted the satisfaction of killing George Harrison. more than he wanted the satisfaction of seeing George Harrison dead. But he was unable to pull it off. Either way, if only he had waited a couple months.